Why, hello folks, welcome to Cooking with Brian. Today we're going to cook chicken and rice soup, homemade style by Brian.
Live for God Studio Productions.
This is Cooking with Brian, a cooking show with food that actually tastes great.
Okay folks, today for your ingredients you will need some cans of mixed vegetables. I'm going to put 4 cans in mine today. You can put however many you want. You can also add other cans of vegetables if you have a larger pot to cook in. You can put cans of peas, cans of corn. You know, anything that you want to add to it is fine. You need some white rice. Okay folks, and for your spices today you will need salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and you will need some parsley flakes. Okay, and you also will need some chicken and maybe a little bit of canola oil or vegetable oil. I don't recommend vegetable oil because it's bad for your heart. Canola oil is not, so use canola oil, friends. Okay folks, the first thing you need is you need your chicken. I just got some chicken tender meat. You can kind of see what I got here. You can get it already cubed up if you can find it, but the store I went to didn't have it. Okay folks, the first thing you want to do is you want to pour some canola oil on your pan. I don't know how much is there, probably about a 1/4 cup or maybe around that. Take your chicken, go ahead and slap your chicken in here. It's a good idea to have washed your hands before you started cooking, friends. We're going to have to wash our hands again anyway here. And then stick your burner on approximately the 5 o'clock position. Okay folks, then you want to get you a large pan, as big as you want, preferably at least this size, but bigger would be nice. And go ahead and slap all your vegetables. And you need 3 containers of chicken broth. I usually get ones that are similar to this. They're 32 ounce or 2 pounds. 3 of those. And dump that in your pan that you're going to cook the soup in. Okay folks, you want to make sure you stir your chicken, flip it over if you have tenders. If you have the cubed chicken, it's a lot easier to deal with. Just keep mixing it and flipping it around. You can also use a whole chicken breast if you wanted to, but I would suggest cutting it down before you even throw it in the skillet. These here, we're going to cook it for just a few minutes until the entire outside looks white. Then we're going to remove them from here, put them on a cutting board, and we're going to trim them up into smaller pieces. And then we'll throw them back in and finish cooking them. Okay folks, for your pan that you're going to cook your soup in, go ahead and throw the burner on about the, I don't know, it ain't going to be that high. Put it on about maybe the 7 o'clock position for now. Go ahead and dump some of your vegetables. We're going to put 4 cans of vegetables in here. Okay folks, after you get most of the outside of the chicken done, just go ahead and put it on a cutting board. Now when you follow my recipes, friends, anything bad that happens is your fault. You take full responsibility for all bad things, and you give me credit for all good things when it comes to following my recipes. If you cut yourself, injure yourself, or others in any way, it's your fault. You take full responsibility. Otherwise, don't follow my recipes, friends, because this is kind of like do at your own risk. If you use knives, common sense rocks, friends. Make sure you follow whatever instructions you would normally follow with knives. You're supposed to cut the meat you're cooking, not yourself, not your relatives or friends or enemies even. Cut it up in little squares, friends, and stick it back in the pan, and do that with all the large pieces you have. Okay, friends, if your pieces are still too big after you cut it, when you start cooking it some more, you can actually use your spatula and break the pieces in smaller pieces if you like. It's all personal preference kind of thing. Okay, folks, we got this back in the skillet, cut up in smaller pieces. We're going to turn the burner back on to 5 o'clock position, and we are going to cook it for, I don't know, maybe at least 5 minutes or so, maybe up to 10 minutes. I don't think it takes very long. If it starts looking brown a little bit, hurry up and turn it off, because you don't want it overcooked. But you don't want it undercooked either. So if you eat raw meat, you take full responsibility for the outcome, friends, because eating raw meats is a good chance of getting salmonella or some other crazy kind of disease or sickness. If it happens, you take full responsibility, friends. If your chickens are tainted with diseases or any of that stuff, it's your fault, not Brian's fault. Okay, folks, we're going to watch my fish. That's King Kong. We're going to watch King Kong swimming while we're waiting on her chicken to cook.
All to Jesus I surrender, all to Him I freely give. I will ever love and trust Him, in His presence daily live. I surrender.
Okay, folks, you want to make sure you keep on stirring your chicken, flipping it all around. You don't want any pink chicken, friends, because pink is not done. So you want to make sure you keep on flipping it and stirring it till all of it is white. That's the goal, that the entire piece of chicken should be white through and through. You don't have to burn it. It don't have to be browned. It can be browned a little bit if you want to, but the main thing is that it's white all the way through. That's fully done with chicken. Okay, friends, go ahead and put some salt, maybe about 12 dashes of salt, 10 to 12 dashes of salt should be good in your chicken broth and your vegetables that's in there. Take you some garlic powder and put about 7 or 8 dashes, some onion powder, at least 10 dashes of onion powder, and then put some parsley flakes in there. I don't know, about 1 or 2 teaspoons of parsley flakes. Get you a ladle and go ahead and stir it up pretty good. Do not put the black pepper in yet, friends. Make sure you keep stirring your chicken until it's fully done. After it gets fully done, go ahead and turn that burner off and throw your chicken in the pan with your chicken broth and your vegetables. Okay folks, once your chicken's done, go ahead and slap it all in your pan of soup. Try not to splash like I did there, friends. Pretty good at splashing. Okay folks, right now I've got my burner on about the 6 o'clock position. You want to do that until it starts bubbling a little bit. Once it's bubbling, then we'll turn it down a little bit. Once it starts bubbling, just go ahead and turn it down to approximately the 8 o'clock position for the remainder of the time that it cooks.
I hear the Savior say, thy strength indeed is small. Child of weakness, watch and pray. Find in me thine all in all. Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow.
Okay folks, once you turned your burner down to the 8 o'clock position, you want to go ahead and just let the soup simmer for at least 30 minutes before you put the rice in your soup. Okay folks, after your soup is kind of simmered a little bit, it may not even be simmering if you have a copper pan like this. You can't really see simmering in those. You want to go ahead and dump 1 cup of white rice in there and give it a whirl. Make sure you stir it up good. You don't want to put more than 1 cup of rice in there, because if you get too much rice, it'll soak up all the juice. So do not exceed 1 cup of rice. You could put a little bit less in if you want, maybe 3/4 of a cup, but for this example we did 1 cup of white rice. Okay folks, you want to, after you put your rice in, just leave it in there for about 10 minutes, and then I want you to re-spice the thing. Put the same amount of garlic powder, maybe, I don't know, maybe not quite as much garlic powder. You want to put in there about maybe 5 dashes of garlic powder and about 10 dashes of onion powder. Do not worry about using the, you do not have to put any more parsley flakes in there, and you do not need to put any more salt in there. You want to just do the garlic powder, onion powder, only this time you want to put about 1/2 of a teaspoon of black pepper in there. Make sure you sprinkle it all the way around the top. Sprinkle it all the way around the top. Stir it and let your soup simmer for at least 10 to 15 more minutes, and then start tasting some of your soup without burning yourself. If you burn yourself, it's your fault, friends. Carefully test your soup to taste and see if the rice is done. When the rice is done, the soup's done, you can turn it off and serve it. Okay, friends, and that's how you make my delicious chicken and rice soup. I hope that was a blessing. We'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.